Crashing with Friends Podcast.
Welcome to Crashing with Friends. My name is Kyle Hobbs, your host. This week I'm joined by Jackson Brayman and Connor Hobbs.
What's up?
No guests, because we're doing our 2022 year in review this week. All of our favorite games, movies, television shows, artists, musical artists. So get ready for that. And if you like what you see, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell.
It's a bell?
It is a bell.
Okay.
The icon's a bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But glad you guys liked last week's episode. That's all I'm going to say.
Y'all crazy.
But so Jack, how's your week been, man?
It's been pretty good. Just been hanging out, playing video games, watching TV. Not really trying to think if there's anything I've seen new. Oh yeah, Glass Onion. Glass Onion was great.
So good.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed Glass Onion. Wonder if it'll be on my top 10 list of the year.
Yeah.
It might.
I wonder as well. But other than that, I've been on the lookout for some good horror movies, and I got really disappointed. So, I mean, there's some good movies going to be coming out pretty soon, but yeah, like the movies that I have watched like over the week were not good at all.
Yeah?
No.
Which ones were they?
That movie, We're Going to the World's Fair.
You mentioned that last week.
Oh yeah, okay. My bad then. That movie that I just mentioned, and then I'm struggling to remember the title of the movie, but it's this movie about it's called Daniel Isn't Real. And the trailer for it made it look pretty cool. It's about like a boy that like whenever he's younger, something traumatizing happens, and then he just kind of creates like an imaginary best friend that's like the cool guy, and it gives him all this confidence and stuff like that.
That's Daniel?
That's Daniel.
Okay.
But
Kind of like Fight Club.
yeah, but Daniel is also like a freaking psychopath, and will do like fucked up shit. And yeah, I was like, okay, I like the premise. I'm going to watch the movie. And then like whenever you after seeing the trailer, all the parts that you see in the movie that you're like, oh man, I can't wait to get to that part in the movie, ends up being like dog shit, Like I don't know how to explain it, but I guess the best way I can explain it is like watching the movie Lamb and like getting all the way to the end and then being like, that's fucking it. So that's my review of that. Daniel Isn't Real.
It's just a disappointment, more or less. Yeah.
We're Going to the World's Fair. I don't know. It's very half and half online as far as people that like hated it and people that really liked it. I'm on the hated it side. So
In doing some research for like top movies, I actually came across that on like a Rotten Tomatoes like highest rated, for the year. And like I want to say that one had like a 91 for like whatever, like what do you call them? People that do the reviews, whatever, those people. And then the audience score was only like a 25%. So it was like a 91 to like a 25% comparison. So like a lot of the audience, like normal people, just don't really like that movie from what I saw. mean,
as far as like,
what is the name of the people that review movies, guys? Help me out here.
Movie critics?
Critics. There we go. Fucking shit. You guys just looking at me like I'm stupid. I was like,
I don't know where he's going with this.
so yeah,
reviewers of movies.
So yeah, critics had a 91, I think, on that movie, and then like audience score was like a 25. So it was just so bad for the audience. So I wouldn't watch it.
I really tried to like it, man. It's just, I feel like it was all just a lot of build up for something that wasn't even real to begin with. The entire time you want something like, okay, some paranormal shit is going to be happening, but no, nothing is happening. The girl is just faking it the entire time. And then like the guy that's trying to help her or whatever, because he thinks that she's really going through it, like he's like trying to help her out, and then like as soon as like she confesses like, oh no, it's all fake, like she then gets like all weirded out by him and then like starts calling him like a pedo and stuff. And I was like, oh man, I feel bad for that dude. All he did was try to help her. But yeah, nothing like comes out of like what I just mentioned. She calls him a pedo, but then like there's just a scene that's like, she's like, don't contact me again. Blah, 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 blah. And then like there's like a scene that's like, we got together like several years later. Like it was weird like meeting up in person, blah, 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 blah. And then that's the movie. She's like, she apologized. Blah, blah, blah. I was like,
Wow.
At the end of it, I felt like, why did I just watch this? I watched it because all the critics were saying it's good, and I'm usually on the critic side of things. But as far as like,
I'm audience all way, dude.
Well, as
Yeah.
far
And I'm right in the middle.
yeah.
I'm audience ride or die.
But then again, I was the complete opposite for Terrifier 2. Critics hated that movie, but audience is like half and half on it. If you can handle that movie, then yeah. That's my week.
That sounds
There
like
you
a bad week, dude. You should have talked about some like some good stuff, dude. You just had Christmas, right? Did you
Yeah, how's
do
your
anything?
Christmas, man?
Yeah.
Oh, my family was out of town, so I spent it alone by myself.
Nice, man. You got any plans? You got any plans?
You
for
asked.
You got any plans for New Year's?
No, I want to go home. I want to play video games and watch TV and stuff like that. But you know what? I don't mind that.
Yeah.
That's a relaxing day for me. So
Yeah,
Where's the win at, Jackson? I want to hear the win.
I usually will, because my whole family usually goes to sleep. We don't really do anything on New Year's, so I will usually stay up by myself till 12 o'clock, watch the ball drop or whatever. I make the same joke to myself I make every year. It's whenever Bobby Boucher is sitting next to his mom in the hospital, and the water boy, and he's like, "Hey, mom, look, it's the devil." Usually whoever's on TV, I'll point at them, nobody's around me, and I'll say the joke, make myself laugh, and usually go to sleep after that.
hey, mama, look, the devil.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have never once watched the ball drop.
Really?
I stayed up like for midnight multiple times, and I think last year, oh man, yeah, last year I timed up Entombment of a Machine. For the stroke of midnight, you would get the, you know, I can't do the sound. Have Rachel come down here and scream. I can't do it. But
Yeah, she hates that song.
she hates it.
Oh, yeah.
Is it because of that one
It's because of
specific?
pig squeals. She hates that song.
Oh, she hates squeals.
Yeah.
They didn't really age too well for me, but from the songs that I listened to when I was younger, those still stick. You know. Yeah, JFAC is awesome.
I'm not saying I don't like him. Rachel doesn't like him.
JFAC was my first metal show. It was Job for a Cowboy, The Red Chord, Skeleton Witch. Remember them?
Yeah.
Yeah. This song is for Satan!
Yeah. Yeah.
This next song's about vampires! Feasting on the flesh!
Yeah, I heard
That was wild. For my
I
first
heard him
experience.
say, "Yeah, this song is for Satan." I was like, "Dude, I'm only 15, man. I don't know if I should be here." You know?
Yeah. When I first heard that, I was just like, I didn't really care for the band that much when I first saw them anyway.
Yeah, I know. It was just
I'm not into that specific genre of metal.
right.
Death, thrash metal, but... And Handshake Murders played. Handshake Murders is such an underrated band.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, Connor, how's your week been? Get off of me. Get off of me.
It was all right. I spent a lot of it watching Peaky Blinders. I'm on season 3, almost at the end of season 3. They're only 6 episode seasons, about an hour a piece, and dude, they're just so good. I'm blown away, man. Really. Cillian Murphy, the main actor, he's just like outstanding in this role. It's like a family of gangsters following the First World War. It just shows their rise in power, and it's mainly because of the main guy. He plays Thomas Shelby, which is like they run the Peaky Blinders, which is like a gang. They get that name because I think they blind a lot of people. That's like kind of their thing. It's kind of crazy. But there's like just like a lot of underground stuff. Like their main thing that they do is like horse race bets and stuff like that. So like there's a lot of horses and that kind of thing in the show. But there's also like a lot of killing, a lot of sex, a lot of just like crazy stuff. In the second season, Tom Hardy is a major character. He's like a Jewish gang leader that he interacts with a lot. And then just like on a random episode, Royal Blood starts playing. Isn't that the name? Yeah, Royal Blood.
Yeah.
That it just was the Out of the Black song, just the guitar,
Awesome.
just the guitar and like that, the I guess the
Really?
drums. They didn't do the vocals in that, but like almost every episode has like the main song, but they've always got all these like newer, like really good songs and stuff. So it's like it's like an older show, but it feels really fresh in that way. But dude, it's just blowing me away. It's like watching like an HBO show in a lot of ways. That's how I feel.
Really?
Like you feel like you're in that world,
Yeah,
It's like
I've never heard
Birmingham.
any single bad thing about it. Everything I've heard about it has been, dude, you need to watch it, but I've just never did.
The way he lights his cigarettes, man, I'm just like, dude.
Makes you want to take up smoking again?
Like I want to pull a cigarette out and just light it, Like that's, I don't know. He makes it look so cool, That's so you guys got to watch this show, man. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna stop watching it. And I hear like, I think all 6 seasons are out, but there's gonna be like a movie that finishes it, from what I've heard. So there's not a better time to check it out, because you can get all the good story, and then probably in the next year or two, I would hope the movie comes out.
What are you
Alright.
watching it on?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. 6 seasons, 6 episodes apiece, about an hour apiece. It's really high quality TV.
Wonder what it originally came out on.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'd say definitely check it out. And I don't know. For me, at least, like within the first 5 minutes, I was already hooked. Just like it just sucks you in. So
All right.
check it out.
I'll definitely give it a shot because I think the reason why I stopped or didn't watch that is because I watched a show that was, kind of like an, older timepiece show that was also a gangster show called Boardwalk Empire. And that is also really good, and I recommend it. But yeah, I started watching that instead of Peaky Blinders. So once I finished that, I was like, all right, I gotta watch something that's not a gangster show now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get back onto Peaky Blinders as soon as I can. It sounds good.
Oh yeah, so good. Definitely check it out. That's about it for my week. I mean, I think I beat Wolfenstein, The New Order, which I really like that game. I'm gonna start the second one eventually. There's a lot of games I want to play, but haven't really played a lot of games this week. Just mainly watching Peaky Blinders. So, the work was all right. What about your week, Kyle?
It's been pretty good. I got a 3060 Ti last week from my computer, so it's just been a lot of me trying out just tons of games. Just, booted up Cyberpunk 2077. It looked really good. Played really good. I booted up Red Dead Redemption 2 just to see what it looked like. It looked really good. I've been playing Midnight Suns, Marvel's Midnight Suns. It's a new tactical like strategy RPG, and it's so good. I am loving it. The tactics part of it is really fun. It's got like a kind of like a, like when you're playing you're bowling and you have like a 7-10 split and you try to hit that 7 to hit that 10. You know what I'm saying?
Or vice versa, yeah.
Or vice versa. That's how the combat is a lot. You hit one guy and you have like it's like a mechanic to where they call it a knockback, but you'll hit a guy and then you can decide where you want that guy to ricochet.
Okay,
and
cool.
that's what makes the game so fun, dude. It's like
Pushing them all into different corners and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. Setting up multi shots.
yes, like I'm just doing like that's why I'm loving it so much. I'm like, this is amazing, dude. Yeah. It definitely is it's definitely my kind of art, like tactical strategy game. And it's got Marvel superheroes in it, which makes it great. You get more insight into who a lot of these Marvel characters are. Like, I know who Blade is, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know who Blade is. You know, I don't know, like...
You don't know Blade.
I don't know Blade, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of characters. You know that show Runaways?
Yeah.
You know the chick who does the magic wand thing?
Nico?
Nico?
Yeah.
The cool thing is she's in the game, and the voice actress that played her in the TV show is her in the game.
I heard that.
I was right off the bat, the first sentence out of the character's mouth, I was like, I know that's the character from Runaways. And then I looked it up.
I like Nico quite a bit.
I like Nico a lot, yeah. And you know, you get just a lot of Mass Effect style, or you know, Oblivion style, or you know, more what's the game, Skyrim style conversation trees. A lot of looking them in the face and talking to them and stuff like that. The only character that I've really not been digging on is Iron Man.
I hear that a lot from people.
Yeah, he's kind of grating, to be honest. It's like kind of frustrating because I love Iron Man a lot, but it's just like the worst parts of Iron Man. But otherwise, I mean, his part, I haven't really been hanging out with him because it's kind of like Persona. Like when you're done with your mission, you go back to your little, it's called the Abbey, and you can like hang out with characters, have conversations with characters. And I have not been hanging out with Iron Man.
Yeah.
Mainly been like Nico and Magic, and just mainly a lot of like X-Men or mutant type characters. Like I've been hanging out with them a lot. But yeah, I love this game. I love it. And if I would have played it more before the end of the year, it would probably been my number one game of the year. Like I love it. I'm loving every second of it, dude.
You like the card game aspect of it?
At first I was I wasn't like hesitant to play it because of that, but I was like, yeah, I've never really played a good card game, like game with cards in it. I've never played Slay the Spire. I need to play that, but because I heard that's like the best example of that. But the card part of it is not that bad. It's like whatever, it doesn't affect me at all. It just shows me moves I can do, and I do them. Yeah.
And aren't there like certain cards that you can use that don't actually count as like turns, and like you can kind of like throw in a bunch of cool stuff before your attacks and stuff?
Yeah. Like you can decide to go run over and pick up a rock and throw it at somebody to knock them out, and you can just do different things before your turn points start. You know what I'm saying?
Very cool that it did that.
Yeah. I really enjoying it. So much fun. I watched the first probably hour and a half of The Fabelmans, the new Steven Spielberg movie that came out this year. I'm really enjoying that. It's pretty good. I'm not enjoying some of the actors in it, but it's just how it goes. And I had a pretty good Christmas as well. Got a lot of clothing. That's mainly what I wanted. You know, it's just a lot of clothing. And it's been my week, man. My week in review. Now it's time for our year in review.
Year-end review coming up right at you.
All right, so what should we start with? Should we start with video games, movies, TV, or music of the year?
We should probably just finish with movies. Right?
Yeah, so we finish with movies and like TV shows, then movie. Oh, okay, I think we should do.
Let's do songs, then games,
Okay.
and then TV, then movies. That
Sounds
sound good?
Yeah.
All right, I like it.
That way we're not just going right into video games.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I don't know.
How do you guys want to do? You guys want to like you list your top 5, then you list your top 5, and then
No, I say we do what we did last year. Like, we'll go down.
all of us say 5, all of us say 4.
Yeah.
All right.
And before we do the list, we should say how many we have on our list. And if I have like 6, but you only have 5, then you know you go through your first 3 first before it gets to where we're even.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I don't mind going first. For song number 5, Do You Want to Taste It by Wigwam. Just thought that the song was so good in Peacemaker intro. Had everybody doing the dance. So, yeah, it was definitely good. Number 5.
Okay. So you did yours differently than mine. I just did the top albums that have released this year that I liked.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that's
if
fine.
I had to choose one of the songs for this year, it would probably be that one. I listened to that song that you said so much because of Peacemaker. That song is so good, man. It kicks in so heavy, you know. Love it. But my Number 5 of the year was Red Hot Chili Peppers' Unlimited Love album. It would have been higher if the rest, like the first 5 or 6 songs of the album are good. The rest of the album I just don't care for. But it would have been higher if it was more consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And my number 5 album of the year is Super Champin' by Otoboki Beaver. Punk rock, noise, Japanese girl band that just has a lot of really catchy hooks mixed in with some madness that, I don't know. I've listened to that album several times this year and I really enjoy it.
Right on.
Nice.
So you guys are doing new stuff that came out this year?
Yeah.
Okay, so for mine, it's just 5 songs that I started listening to this year. So,
Cool. That's cool, man.
I don't listen to full albums hardly ever unless I'm like super into something. So that's where I'm coming from. All right, number 4, Wait a Minute by Willow. I thought that song has something to say.
Yeah, you did have it. You did talk about that during one episode this year.
Yeah, so I think that definitely deserves a number 4.
All right. I actually liked that song. It's pretty good.
I liked it. Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like you liked it a lot.
I number 4 liked it. Yeah.
All right. So my number 4, Memphis Mayfire had a new album called Remade in Misery. Really enjoyed that album. I'm really, I wish I would have liked Memphis Mayfire earlier in my life, but it's one of those bands where, because I'm liking them later in my life, they have a whole bunch of records that I can listen to. But the newest one that came out this year is called Remade in Misery.
Yeah. It's always nice to discover a band that just has like a massive discography out already.
Yep. The first song off that album, Blood and Water, it's pretty good.
My number 4 album of the year is God's Country by Chat Pile. Industrial hardcore metal that, I don't know, reminds me a lot of kind of like BT Bam, where they'll just have like sections where it's not
Between the Buried and Me.
Yeah, Between the Buried and Me, known as BT Bam. But they're not as progressive, like, just, melodic or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely more just like in your face, really grungy industrial metal. So
Nice.
it's not for everybody, but it's made my top 5 and it's number 4.
And it's definitely for Jackson.
It's definitely for me.
All right, my number 3, Overstepping by Belmont. I think we all really liked listening to this song this year.
Yes.
First heard it playing disc golf with Kyle, playing on a speaker. And yeah, it definitely made my list. Listened to it quite a bit this year.
Yeah, it made it on my top 2022 songs on Spotify. So.
Yeah, I hold that in no regard, but it did end up on my list too on Spotify.
It was my number 1 song on Spotify. So,
I mainly don't. Okay, the reason why I say that is because I listen to a lot of songs on random, and I feel like the whole algorithm favors certain songs over other songs.
it's weird, isn't it?
And because of that, I think the whole Spotify rap thing, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't, because like there's several songs that made it on my list. Like, oh yeah, I skipped that probably 50 times this year because it kept fucking coming on. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so true.
It's like, dude, I can't. I don't care about it, but I do care about what you actually like this year. That's what I care about, not Spotify's algorithm.
Yeah. You're right, Connor.
Well, I gotta say, my rap was pretty spot on. So,
Do you listen to a lot of like albums specifically, or do you like listen to random, or how do you listen?
general, like, it depends. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a full album. Sometimes I want to listen to this right now. So,
Right.
So a lot of, like, I'd say about 70% of the time it's, I want to listen to this specifically right now.
It's not a random thing.
No, not really random.
I'd say way over half of my time on Spotify is random.
Oh, almost 99% of my time.
Just
is random.
because the things that I listen to, like the list is just so big that if I just listen to certain things all the time, that's just going to be all that I listen to. I've got to listen to everything on there to get some freshness, some flavor, you know?
Yeah. Feel you.
My number 3.
Okay.
Did you already do number 3?
I don't know. Did I? Yeah.
Yeah, you just did-
Overstepping.
yeah.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Norma Jean, their new album Death Rattle Sing For Me. the main reason I have this album on my list is just because I love the lead singer's voice so much. His voice is getting so it's so different than it used to be whenever Norma Jean first came out. It's just I love how gravelly it is, and I just wish.
Well, that first Norma Jean album is with the vocalist of The Chariot.
Okay, yeah, I think I had heard that at some point. Yes, interesting, but I really love his voice, man, and I just really at the end of the day, I just wish he would make another 100 Sons album.
Yeah, I would love to get another 100 Sons album.
But the Norma Jean Death Rattle Sing for me, I thought was a really heavy album, and I really enjoyed it this year.
My number 3 album of the year is This World Is Going to Ruin You by Vane.fm.
Yeah, that was a good album.
Yeah, that album, like, I found Vane.fm this year, and even though this album that I mentioned isn't my favorite album by them, Error Zone is my favorite album by them, this album is still pretty freaking dope. And yeah, good enough to be number 3 on this year's Top 5 2022 albums list by Jackson Brayman.
Nice.
All right. So for my number 2 is Canvas by Resonate, which is a song that I first found out by Jackson sharing a link to a video of an AI music video created by one of those AI generator things. Mm-hmm. And it was just such a crazy video, but I'm like, oh, I actually like this song too.
Right.
So check out that video. Just type in like AI music video or whatever, Canvas by Resonate, and you'll probably see it. It's like a 5-minute video or 6-minute video.
Yeah, the video itself is just really trippy, you know?
Oh yeah, so trippy, but really good song too.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's check that out. My number 2 is Strawberry Girl's new album, Prussian Gloom. They released like song by song throughout the year.
Yeah.
Oh.
So at the end of the year, they were like, guess what? All those singles we released, it's an album.
Which you had to know was going to happen.
Yeah.
They've done that with all the last 2 albums. Feel like there was like 3 or 4 songs they released throughout the year that just ended up on the album, you know?
Yeah.
But I loved all those songs throughout the year, and there's a couple on there that weren't released throughout the year though.
Yeah, that's true.
But I loved it throughout the year, and when it came out, loved it still. My favorite song on there is Catfight. The song slaps. But yeah, Prussian Gloom.
My number 2 album of the year is, I'm not sure how to say it. Oni or Ani? I don't know. Oni?
Oni.
Yeah, it is Oni by Darko US. One of the heaviest albums that I've ever heard. A lot of just really punching you in your face like chugs. So if you are into like a lot of chuggy breakdowns that really slap you and your mother, check it out.
Do I need to ask my mother first if she wants to be slapped or? All right. Number 1 song, Governor Switch by Narco Debut, also known as the knockoff Coheed and Cambria song.
Yeah, I've checked out Narco Debut. They were pretty good.
Yeah, I really like this song. There was another song that I was listening to them, and the song, it was good, but this other song, Governor Switch, I just like it even more, so that's why it's number 1. But there are other good Narco Debut songs.
Yeah, that's my favorite song by Narco Debut as well.
Yeah, it's really freaking
It's a
good.
good song, man.
Yeah.
Whenever I first heard him, I was like, is this Claudio Sanchez, man? And then like the more you listen to it, you're like, okay, this isn't him, but damn, they sound so alike.
It's so good. Yeah.
My number 1 record of the year was Polyphia's Remember That You Will Die. That album is so good.
That is also my number 1 record of the year, man.
I just love how they made a gent like hip hoppy album.
I keep forgetting I need to listen to that.
It blends both of my favorite things together into like just a perfect record. I loved it.
Yeah, that album straight pushes the limits of like what you can do on instruments too. So Tim Henson is an insane guitar player.
Wow.
If anything, I haven't listened to it enough.
Mm-hmm. Like Tim Henson is right now, him and Tosin Urbasi are like the greatest guitar players of our generation. Like everybody that you've heard of that was the master guitarist like growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s all of them are looking at these two guys and just going, dude, what the hell, man? They are insane. Also, a special shout out to Jason Richardson. That dude can play insanely fast. But yeah, he said my number one album. So let's go ahead and move on to games.
Well, I just wanted to shout out my two favorite songs of the year, which would be Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus and Overstepping by Belmont. I listened to those two songs over and over and over and over again. I really like those songs a lot.
Well, if we're gonna do like special shout outs for like our favorite album that we listened to this year, my favorite album was that A Tear in the Fabric of Life EP by Knocked Loose. I know Kyle is getting sick of me talking
it's
about
your favorite
them
band, so you can talk about it as much as you want.
Yeah, I just found out about that band this year, and it completely revitalized like a love for hardcore music within me. So it's kind of opened up my life to like a whole set of like metal music that I really wasn't into before, but now I'm getting into it. Vane.fm was part of that. So
I've seen David, shout out to David, former podcaster here. He has posted stuff on the first band that you're talking about, not Vane.fm, but the Knock Loose. I guess he likes them a lot too, so you might want to talk to him about that.
yeah, we've talked about it a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, we're gonna go. You have any special mentions, Connor?
No, just the 5 songs.
All right, bro. Okay, let's go ahead and go into games here.
You guys want me to start, or does someone else want to
How
start?
many games you got?
I think Kyle should start this one.
I got
You started
5.
the last one.
I've got 6. How many you got?
I've got 5, but one of them came out in 2021, but I played it for the first time.
Well,
this
I've
year.
got 7, but one of them came out in 2021.
Okay.
All right,
And
I've got 5.
I've got 5, and 2 of them came out last year. So
Okay. So
these are first playthroughs, by
Yeah,
the way. I did replay some games this year that were really good, but they're replays, so they don't count.
So my number 6 game of the year is a game that did come out previously in pre-release, but it came out this year in 1.0. It was Session, the skateboarding sim game. Just a really good skateboarding sim. Along the lines of like Skate. It just has a flick mechanic. The only thing that's different is you turn with the triggers instead of turning with the joystick.
yeah.
And it's impossible to learn.
It is not. I've mastered it.
No, it's impossible. I tried it.
Hard. It is hard to play, but yeah, my number 5 is Escape Academy. Me and Connor played this game earlier this year, and I heard that there's like some DLC for it that recently came out.
Go back in there.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a lot of fun just trying to solve all those puzzles together. And I've never done an escape room, and that's the closest thing that you're going to be able to do as far as an escape room without having to leave your house.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of different ones that you can play, and I really recommend playing with a friend because if it wasn't for Jackson, I wouldn't have finished that game. I'll tell you that. Like, you can get hints, but they only go so deep, and just the way that Jackson's brain works, like he could figure out certain puzzles super fast. I found out certain puzzles super fast. You know, it was just like it worked good for us doing it co-op that way because I wouldn't have done it by myself.
Any couples out there that want to play a video game together, this would be a good one.
Yeah, for sure. I recommend it. It's on Game Pass still, I'm pretty sure.
Ladies, you can laugh at how dumb your husband is trying to get to the next level.
Me, number 5, Tales of Arise. I think it's just a really solid JRPG. It is a little bit long in the tooth. Some of the anime-ness of it will grind on you at certain points, and that's from someone who loves anime. There's like a lot of optional skits that you can just opt into to hear like more story and more context and like, I guess, more interaction between the characters, you know? It was just like, you know, you can click a button and it's like, you know, you get like a 2-minute story, you know, of them just talking and hanging out. So I really wanted to listen to all of them, but I got to the point about 50 hours in where I'm like, okay, I still want the story, but I was just reading through it and clicking through it because it was just like, dude, I got to finish this game. But the combat, man, I love the combat so much. I think it's so deep, so complex, and just stylish too. and that's what really made me want to finish the game. The story is pretty good. The actual main story is really good. It's just there's just so much of it that is, you're kind of committed. But it's kind of like Persona in a lot of ways, Persona 5, but it's more action based. So that's why it's number 5.
Nice. My number 5 is Marvel's Midnight Suns. I've only played maybe 10, 15 hours of the game, but I'm loving. I just know it's
up there.
It's up there. I just know it is. I just love it so much, dude. I know it's gonna. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it.
Hopefully it doesn't become like the movie Lamb and it just crashes your entire computer once you get 98% of the way through it.
I just have a feeling they're gonna stick the landing on it. But yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to keep talking shit about that movie for as long as I can.
Hey, it's okay.
My number 4 game, Warzone 2.
Nice.
Yeah, Warzone 2. Like, honestly, I'm really scraping together like game. As soon as he said like Warzone 2 came out this year, I'm like, oh, that's right. So, and we've played it like so much that it would be stupid if I put anything else on here that's not Warzone 2. So.
We mainly play it as just a reason to just talk and hang out,
Yeah. Vent frustrations out on each other and everything.
There's a lot of times where, like, I'll be like, all right, we got to move. And Jackson will be like, dude. Yeah. And I'll be like, okay, Jackson, okay, calm down. Like, calm down.
Kyle's one of those people that plays that game and has fun. I'm one of those people that plays that game and it just gets pissed off. I constantly question myself, why do I play this game? You're just going to get mad, Jackson.
Man, I feel like the game that we used to hang out and just talk was Fall Guys. I think that until that got ruined,
it got heavily monetized.
That was the best. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like you do hang out and talk in Warzone a lot.
Yeah. I would like to play Fall Guys, but I hate the heavy monetization they put in that game.
Yeah, they ruined it, man.
My crown value was so high, and then it just dropped to nothing. I was crown rich in that game.
So was I.
Mm-hmm.
I won so much, and it all ended up being for nothing. Like I did get a lot of good skins that would have been, highly priced, like money wise in real world. But
had I known that was what they were going to do with all of the skins. Like I would have blown all of my kudos, all of my crowns to where I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if they would have told us that
right
in advance. Like, hey, spend your crowns now because they're not going to matter.
Yeah, I still had like 60 crowns.
So did I. I had about 54.
It's like, oh, now I got all these like stupid like kudos that literally buy me like white and green items only. It's like, what the fuck?
I could talk for hours about how pissed off.
Yep.
Yeah. Worst thing of the year, Fall Guys. That. If we're going non-political.
Fall Guys getting bought out and going to heavy monetization, one of the worst things that happened this year.
Yep.
Along with Overwatch 2.
Is it my turn? Number 4? Or did Jack give us number 4? Yeah, you got Warzone 2, right?
Yeah.
All right, my number 4, Horizon Forbidden West. Man, the glider let me down. It was such a slow glider. If it would have went like about, I don't know, twice as far when you glided, I would have really liked that game a lot more. But like every time I use the glider, it's like, dude, this is a disappointment. It's more like a parachute than a glider. But yeah, I mean, the game's good story, kind of predictable. A lot of the side characters didn't really enjoy, and overall, I felt like I just wanted to finish it. I didn't really want to live in the world, but it is a really good, high quality game. I didn't really like Aloy's speech actor. Like she's always like, to me, like kind of one of the lower parts of the game.
Is it Ashley Birch?
I think it is. Yeah. And I mean, she's all right, but I mean, just Aloy in general, I don't know, man. Number 4.
My number 4 is a game that released previously, but released for the first time on PC this year.
What are you talking about? You're number 3 now, right?
You're number 4.
Were you about to say Session again?
No.
Huh.
I started with
he started with 6.
Oh, okay. All right. I got thrown off, huh?
You're good.
Yeah.
Right.
My number 4 is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, because it did release this year on PC, and I purposefully didn't play a lot of it on PS4 because I was waiting for the PC release of it. So I consider it a game that did come out this year. But
I'm glad I made it on your list.
yeah, it was my number 4. There were some parts that were slow that kind of dragged on me a little bit. The side quests I thought were meaningless and had no point in being in the game at all.
They got to fix that for the second game.
Yeah,
They really do.
I was like, why am I doing any of this? Like, this is pointless. I don't care if Cloud is a community fan favorite. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I care that Cloud is trying to take down Shinra, and I care that Sephiroth's out there somewhere, wreaking havoc, trying to get Genova, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
Yeah.
The side quest should be more like, hey, go take down these monsters or something. More action based, not just go find these 3 cats.
Yeah,
in through town.
That stuff was so grating, dude. I'm
Yeah.
like, why am I doing any of this?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But I like the overall story. Some of the coolest action scenes I've ever played in a game were in that game. Really cool motorcycle fight scenes. Yeah, it's one of those games where I'm glad that I ratcheted it down to easy and just blew through it because I actually got to experience a really cool story that way. Yeah.
And my number 3, right?
Yeah.
All right. My number 3 would be Session Skateboarding Simulator. Yeah, Kyle already talked about it, but yeah, I really enjoyed that game. The updates that they've added to it have definitely improved it a lot. It's still a long way to go on the game, but I have probably like over 200 hours on that game then, so like I've definitely got my dollar's worth out of it, and I'll continue to buy almost every DLC that comes out for it. So yep, Session is number 3.
All right, for me, Metal Hellsinger, number 3.
Really?
I really enjoyed just the whole vibe of the game. I thought overall it's a quick game. It's easy in a lot of ways, but there are some challenging stuff. However, the final boss was overly difficult. Like, I don't know why it was so difficult, but I somehow beat it. But and that was on easy. I thought it was super challenging, but just mainly because of the songs, I think, and just the fact that it came out this year. So yeah, I think number 3. I think it. Yeah, maybe flop that and Horizon. I don't know. You could go either way.
I feel you.
You know.
My number 3 is Warzone 2, which honestly could have been my number 1 because I just love that game so much. I wish I had more people to play it with, because if I did have more people to play it with,
You wouldn't have to pick me all the time.
No, that's not it. No, that's not it at all. You only play for just like an hour a night. If I had my way, I'd play it for 5 to 6 hours a night. I'd play it every night, all night long. I love it so much. I just love. It's the only game that I get the teamwork cooperation in that I love to play. Like, that's my favorite kind of game, is a game where I can coordinate with my team and strategically take down an enemy or take down something. I love the feeling of working together. I've always been a huge fan of that kind of stuff. And if I'm like I said, with Warzone 1, I think I was like hundreds of wins, thousands of hours in it, and this one I already have like easily 100+ hours in, and it's only been out for just like a couple months. We've already played so much of it, dude. Mm-hmm. But the reason I love it so much is when you get those wins, it's just the most intense feeling. It's just like, yes, we accomplished this together. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time me and Jackson get a win, it makes up for all that shit we just went through for fucking 20 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And once we went, and I always hope that we win like the 4th or the 5th game, just so I can be like, well, that's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and call
exactly.
it.
It's always a good time to end it when you get a win. It's like, okay, hey, I don't think it's going to get much better than this. Have a good night, dude. You know? But yeah, that's my number 3. Could have been my number 1.
My number 2 game of the year is a game that I have yet to beat, but that is because, I did put it down, but I did get to a point where I was like, dude, I don't know where to go, and I'm struggling, is Elden Ring.
That's your number 2?
That's my number 2.
All right. Yeah, that's my number 2 as well.
Elden Ring is just,
It It's super
It's
solid.
hard to not like that game, man.
It's super solid. Yeah.
It is a very solid game. It's got like the whole aspect of like, okay, like, so you struggled in this area, like, I don't know, you struggled in this area once, but like now you're overpowered and you can just blow through these guys now. Mm-hmm. There's something about games like that. It's like, man, I really like that. And, can't go with number one yet. So, all right. Yeah.
I just think, with Elden Ring, it really is the best like FromSoft game that's come out in a lot of ways. Aesthetically, you could say Bloodborne is a lot cooler looking. I do like the trick weapons in Bloodborne as well. But yeah, overall, man, I mean, I went through with the magic build in Elden Ring and had a great time with it. I've never done that in any of those prior games like Dark Souls or anything like that. And I thought it was really epic in a lot of ways. A lot of good music. So yeah, definitely worth it. Definitely like a 10 out of 10.
I might try to download that game download that game so that way I can beat it.
You should finish it. I was thinking about that the other day. You should finish it. That was my number 2, Elden Ring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. My number 2 was God of War Ragnarok. Really great. Don't want to say much more because I already talked about it last week, but
Yeah.
really, really loved it.
The thing is, I feel like Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok would have been on my top 5 this year. I just haven't had the chance to play them. I don't have a PS5, so.
No, you had a chance to play Horizon Forbidden West. You sat
that's
on the
true.
copy for how many
That's true.
months?
I can't remember.
Yeah, you can't remember how long you had that copy.
But I was addicted to my PC.
Yeah.
My PlayStation became just a Netflix device for a longest time.
Jackson, number 1.
My number 1 game is the game that actually came out.
Wait, do we all have the same number 1?
No, I mean, okay, so my number 1 is Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh.
But if I had to say my number 1 game that I played this year, it's going to be the same as your guys's. It's going to be
Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm glad you guys played it. I'm so glad you guys played it.
The game was fantastic. I loved
If
it.
it would have came out this year, it would have been my number 1. But since it came out last year, it wasn't. But yes, that is my favorite game I've played this year.
Yes, it was so good.
So good, man. Like, I'm going to replay that game again. And man,
Yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah, I don't have the thought of immediately beating a game and thinking, should I just start it back up? Like I did have that thought with that game, and I will play it again, but it's just like, man, it was just too good, especially the stuff at the end, man.
Yeah. There are very few games that I would put on that list of I just beat it and I already want to restart it, and that's on the list.
Just,
And by the time you beat it, you realize like, oh, that stuff at the beginning was slow, but it did matter, you know? So like when you replay it, you'd be more invested in the beginning, I think.
Yep. Yeah, man, the game is great, dude. Yeah.
It's one of those games that I feel like if you possibly may or may not have missed something during the game, it's one of those games that on your second playthrough, you want to do every single thing in the game. So
Right. This next time, I'm going to use that visor, make sure I get everything in the world, like Kyle was
Exactly.
saying. Yeah.
I was not using the visor enough at the beginning.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
11 out of 10 for me.
Perfect.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Perfect game.
All right. So we're going to go and do our top TV shows. I only did a top 5. You guys did a top 10, so I figure you guys do your 10 through 6 real quick.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, Connor?
All right, so I actually had an honorable mention of Murderville. I really had a good time watching that show this year,
Yeah, I did have.
but it's not necessarily going to be something that would be the quality of these other shows.
You guys watch a lot more TV shows, I feel, than me this year, so.
Yeah. You're mainly doing what again?
Top 5.
I mean, during the year, why aren't you watching TV shows? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm usually rewatching.
Oh, okay.
I do a lot of rewatches.
Oh, okay. And replaying games and
Yep.
living your old life.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
I'm nostalgia man.
I'm joking, bro.
Well, trust me, if you guys ever get a place together, you're gonna be probably bleeding off onto Jackson a lot as far as the stuff you watch. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
it'd definitely make him cooler. I know that. All right. So number 10, Our Flag Means Death. I thought that was a great show. We're checking out. Definitely if you like comedy. I would say a little bit of seriousness, but mainly comedy. Number 9, Wednesday. I thought that was a great show. Definitely worth your time, especially if you like the Addams Family. I think Wednesday is probably one of their stronger characters, so good to see that. Number 8, Winning Time. Show about the Lakers. Can't go wrong with that. The only reason why it's so low on my list is because I didn't really like the fourth wall breaking aspect of it. Given they don't do it as much later in the season, I don't think, but really in the beginning, like the first episode, there's a lot of that. It's kind of why I don't watch some other shows with fourth wall breaking. Number 7, Reacher. If you're a fan of the main actor, I thought it was a really great show on Amazon. Worth your time if you like action and like not necessarily espionage, but kind of like some kind of like not really spy stuff, but anyway, some good action. Number 6, House of the Dragon. And if number 6 is House of the Dragon, what does that mean for numbers 1 through 5? But yeah, House of the Dragon, so good, man. So good. Definitely a great follow-up to Game of Thrones.
I loved it.
I hope they don't mess it up, kind of like they did Game of Thrones season 8 or 9, whatever it was. But dude, if you haven't watched House of the Dragon yet, you're messing up.
Yeah, it's good.
Matt Stone, probably my favorite actor of the year, maybe. His portrayal of Daemon.
Yeah.
Just so good.
Yeah. I can't say good enough things about House of the Dragon. It was so fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shows you why HBO is so good at what they do,
Yeah, and it was the best parts of Game of Thrones, like the family intrigue and the family stabbing each other in the back kind of stuff. That's what I loved about Game of Thrones, Mm-hmm. And there's a great wedding episode.
And the story progresses. I love it when a story progresses fast and doesn't like stick in one spot forever,
Right. Yep. So my number 11 for TV shows of the year was Rings of Power. Could have been stronger. There was some weaker parts of it, but overall, I really did enjoy the show. I thought it was really cool. I loved seeing how Mordor was created. I thought that was really sick.
Definitely a high point.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that show. My number 10 is Winning Time. I loved it. There was a couple little parts that I just didn't like about it. But overall, I loved it. It was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Kenobi is my number 9. It would have been a lot higher if there was not the little girl stuff in there so much. But the Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan Kenobi parts of the show is what put it as my number 9. Like, I love those parts so much that the rest of the crappier parts of the show don't really matter as much because I get Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader again, which is more than enough. And you get to see some sick Inquisitor stuff, and you get to see the Inquisitor base that you also get to see in Star Wars
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. If you
Very
played
cool.
Jedi Fallen Order and liked that part, you'd love the part in the show where they go there. My number 8 was Moon Knight. Really loved Oscar Isaac's performance in it. I loved how he was playing all those characters so well, and
Personalities.
Just personalities, just being able to bounce from one to the other so quickly, and just be a completely different character. And I really just liked the whole gods part of Marvel. I really enjoy that stuff. And I just liked Moon Knight as a character. I thought he was just a cool superhero / anti-hero kind of thing, Moon Knight is really cool. And also Ethan Hawke does play a really good villain in it. I really enjoyed his character. My number 7 is She-Hulk. I just thought it was funny. I didn't take it as seriously as a lot of people I've seen taking it. I knew what it was and I liked it for that. It was a comedy show and I just liked the stuff that she got into, the mishaps she got into, and I liked that it was kind of like a character of the week kind of thing. Like a new character came in and she had to deal with the court case. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a big ramifications type show. That's what I liked about it. My number 6 was For All Mankind season 3. I liked that they finally got to Mars and there was just a lot of cool things that happened on Mars during that. I didn't care for the Margot storyline.
Right.
That was the only
Yeah.
part that I was not digging on.
I haven't liked Margot from the beginning, man. You know,
Really?
she's the part of the show that I don't like. If I had to point to one thing, it's her.
Huh, that's interesting.
I was upset at the end of season 3 because there was a character that got killed off that I really liked. You know? Mm-hmm. So that sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, feel you.
Such a good TV show. Everybody should watch that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Should I go with my number 5 now?
Yes.
All right. My number 5 is Beavis and Butthead. Beavis. what
Did you
can I
finish
say,
it?
man?
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Me too.
Like, man, Mike Judge, he's
Did it
just
again.
good at- he's just good at like comedy, man. He's good at just making fun of everything while being really stupid about it. I don't know. It's good. It's good stupid comedy, and I love it. So
Should have had that on my list. I just completely forgot it came out this year.
yeah, that's my number 5.
It's really good.
Yeah. We actually sat here and watched a few episodes together, and that was a good time.
Oh yeah.
All right, for me, number 5. Whoa. I've got 2 number 5 somehow. I guess I messed up. So I'll give you both my number 5s, I guess. I've got Andor and Peaky Blinders as number 5s. All right, so Peaky Blinders, because I'll just say it's an honorable mention, okay? I'm only like at the end of season 3, but I think it's that good. Season 6 did come out this year, so I think it can count. But I technically haven't watched season 6 yet. Okay,
But you like literally started it like 2 weeks ago or something
like a week ago, something
And you'll
like that.
be at season 6 within the next week.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure it's great, dude. It's gotten so good. Okay, but number 5, Andor. Yeah, man. I talked a lot of crap on the beginning of the show, and you know, looking back, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong.
It's worth a rewatch too.
It is slow, but slow doesn't necessarily mean bad. Okay? So yeah, I was wrong about Andor. I think the show should be called Cassian, personally. I don't think Andor's a good name for the show, but you know, whatever. A name's a name. Whatever. I'll get over it. Really good show. Loved it. Watch Andor. Good spycraft.
Yeah. My number 5 was House of the Dragon. Yeah. I loved all the extra dragons we got to see.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All
And
the
I
gnarly
love-
deaths.
Like I said earlier, I love the wedding episode. That was enough for me, man. Like, it was just so crazy, dude. Mm-hmm. The people who die in that episode is just insane, man. That's my number 5.
All right, my number 4 of the year is Our Flag Means Death. I really enjoyed that show, man. Mm-hmm. It's just my kind of comedy. But yeah,
It's got a great cast.
really good cast. Really
I
good
love the
cast.
captain. He's
Yeah,
so funny, man.
like the idea
That's
of just
Reese
like,
Darby, right?
Yeah, Reese Darby.
yeah, the idea of just like a guy that's like a very dandy kind of dude, wants to be a bloodthirsty pirate but doesn't have the stomach for it,
Yeah.
and he's a captain of a pirate ship. Yeah, it's great. So,
And Taika Waititi's version of Blackbeard, man. Maybe
Yeah.
the best version of Blackbeard I've ever seen. Maybe.
it's not the typical Blackbeard that you
Yeah.
would think. Like in ways he is, but he's also not.
Yeah. Do I go to number 4 now?
Yeah, number 4.
All right. Number 4, Strange New Worlds. I talked very highly of this show earlier in the year. Was giving it 10 out of 10. There's really only 1 week episode, in my opinion, and you can skip it, you know, if you know which episode it is. But dude, like really the best Star Trek that I've seen in a long time. You know, you could say the Star Trek movies that came out, the J.J. Abrams ones, those are probably the best Star Trek thing that's come out. But like best TV Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. And that's coming from someone who's watched all Discovery. There is some good season 1 of Discovery, man. Don't sleep on that, dude. Kyle knows what I'm talking about, man. Like there's some really cool stuff going on in season 1 of Discovery.
Even season two is
Fabulous.
fabulous.
Season 2 is really good too. It kind of trails off season 3 and 4, but dude, first season of Strange New Worlds, couldn't have asked for more of what I got. Like, but I want more. I do want more.
That's also my number 4, and part of the reason I loved it so much was just the Captain Anson Mount. He does such a good job playing Pike,
Right.
and I love the looming thing over the whole entire show is eventually he's gonna get messed up in some type of
Accident
that's going to leave him inside of like pretty much like a paralyzation chamber where he's just a vegetable in this thing, you know? And that's what's going to eventually happen to Pike. And I love the darkness over the whole show, but it's still so like Star Trek. It's still so positive and still so like we can be better, you know? And this show is so great because it's a thing of the week. It's a people of the week show, you know, it's a new planet of the week kind of thing, you know.
But they still do kind of implant one kind of major bad guy that's going to come up.
Yep.
Kind of comes up in the season.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I can't wait for season 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
My number 3 is Winning Time. I really really liked Winning Time. There's only like one scene during that whole show that I didn't like, and that was John C. Reilly sucking on the nanny boobies. That was the only part where I was like, this is weird. My mom's dying. I thought that was just funky. And yeah, so besides that one part, I thought the show was great. One thing that I really loved about it was like the classic old school look at the whole, you know, the cinematography, you know.
Right.
I just love stuff like that. So,
And it just like, it keeps cutting to Magic Johnson having sex with that big titty girl. Like, you know, like, why do you guys keep showing the same shot? Like, they keep bringing it up. It's like, all right, they want to show us this shot again. That's what I remember out of it.
he was a pussy hound.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's my number 3.
It's not proper for me to say big titty girl. All right, number 3.
Yeah.
Severance. Yeah, dude. If you haven't watched Severance, dude, you probably at least heard about it. And dude, it's real. It's for real, dude. Best drama that I watched this year, I would say. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
There was one point where I'm like, oh, I think this is going to happen, and nope, something else happened. And you know,
it's a really hard show to call what is going to happen next and what's even going on. I finished the first season. I still don't know what is really going on there. I have an idea, but I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's you know, considering it came like from Ben Stiller, like he's like the main director, right, or something.
He's directed most of the
producer maybe. I don't know, dude. Just I'm blown away by it. Just whew. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It's that good.
Yeah. And it's just so like dark yet funny, you know, at the same time. And it's just quirky, you know what I'm saying? And it's the perfect kind of weird.
And Adam Scott, his performance is just so good, but not only his performance, but like Christopher Walken and
Yes.
like
John
John Turturro. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like all these characters, it's like, dude, they're all having their best performances. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's the Christopher Walken John Turturro relationship or
Dynamic.
Dynamic, yeah, is just perfect, man.
It is a relationship, but there's a dynamic there.
I've said this before, but it's the first time a show has ever like presented like gay people in front of me, and I'm like, I hope they fuck. I've never thought about that before in my life, but I've thought about it in this show. That's how good the show is.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just sitting here like watching them both, and I'm like, man, I hope they bone.
It's so good, man. Like
I want them to get together.
Yeah, and just the mystery that's happening the whole time. You know, the mystery is what keeps that show going. Christina Applegate's character is just creepy and just. That's not Christina Applegate. That's
Yeah, why did you say Christina Applegate?
I always get those two mixed up. Her and God, what's the main boss's name?
It's the same lady that voices
Arquette.
Mrs. Incredible, right?
No, that's oh damn it! Why'd you have to say?
Are we
that?
talking Severance cast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arquette. What's her name?
I'm getting it pulled up right now. Patricia Arquette.
Patricia.
Yeah.
You bastard.
Yeah, Patricia Arquette. She's so good in it. Just a creepy character. Creepy. Yeah.
What's your number 3, Kyle?
My number 3 was Andor.
Nice.
I loved how it was just all these different three episode arcs they were all so different, and it was like an infiltration scene, and then like a heist, and then it went to like a prison break, and then like a huge funeral type thing, and it was just so good, man. Like by the end, you get like a marching band. Like a crappy marching band fighting Imperials, and it's just a sick fight. It's so good, man. It's so good.
Got this really crappy marching band.
My number 2 show of 2022, which very easily could have been number 1, Peacemaker.
Yeah, that's my number 2 as well.
Yep. I mean, it's one of those shows that I've seen people that hate John Cena watch that show and then become like John Cena fans.
Oh yeah.
I was one of those people. So Peacemaker is a big win.
It's just so absurd, man. It's just he's just the mental and the trauma he goes through with his dad, and just is still so positive throughout all of it. You know what I'm saying? And just it's just a great show.
Mm-hmm. I liked his like friendship with Vigilante.
Yes.
I thought that dynamic was great.
Vigilante was really funny.
The episode where they're cutting his Vigilante's toe off is one of the greatest things.
He's got the dullest fucking blade on earth, man.
Like, oh man, it's so funny. Yeah.
Connor, was your number 2?
My number 2, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, it's man. How do I describe this? It's everything I wanted out of a Beavis and Butthead TV show, and it got me to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna go back and watch the old stuff, and the old stuff's still good, but the new stuff's even better, man. It's just
right.
So much better quality. The animation's great. You actually feel like they're trying to think outside the box with a lot of these episodes, but then at the same time, it's like, no, this is just totally just same Beavis and Butthead, like the part, like, don't they get like stuck in like a pool that's like, they fill it with like glue or something? Isn't that like one of them? And they're both like walking around with like a big like swimming pool or something.
Yes.
Something like that. Dude, it's just like, oh yes.
I love like where they're like, oh, we got to figure out a way to stay in school like after it closes. Well, let's just get in this box. and then that box just gets piled on with a bunch of more boxes, and then they have to get wheeled down like stairs and stuff, and then they just get left in this box overnight in the basement.
Another one where like they get stuck on a roof and like Beavis gets pushed off and then they get stuck on the roof again. It's like, oh my God.
They try to make honey with wasps.
Yeah, man, that show, it should have been on my top 10. I don't know why it wasn't. Yeah, man, so good.
All right. Number 2, Kyle?
Peacemaker. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you already said that. Okay.
And I have a feeling our number 1's the same.
Yeah. Should we say it at the same time? Severance, bruh.
Yes.
Severance that is like the show that I want when it comes to like a drama / I don't want to call it horror, but like a psychological thriller.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that is what I want when it comes to that shit, It's very like Twilight Zone-esque.
Yes.
But
yes, it is.
Like just the concept from the beginning, it's like, ooh, that's weird. How are they doing that?
Yeah. I can't say good enough things about it, man. Without spoiling it, like, what else can you say?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything
more.
Spoil any of it. I already spoiled enough with the Christopher Walken, John Turturro thing.
I know. Yeah,
right.
I almost want to go back and edit that out. But, Severance.
Just bleep them out.
Yeah, they had a whole year to watch it. It came out in January.
Perfect. Perfect.
I'll say it again. There's like 5 or 6 Apple TV shows that are just so worth it to just get that for a month and just watch like these shows. They're just too good.
I keep telling people out there that like, as far as original shows, Apple TV is beating everyone right now.
Mm-hmm.
You got The Foundation. You got Ted Lasso. You got Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Severance.
For All Mankind.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's at least one
Our
more.
Flag Means Death.
That's HBO.
Is it?
I'm pretty
Yes.
sure.
You sure about that?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I gotta double check.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're fine.
But just those shows alone.
Yeah,
is
there's probably like 1 or 2 more, and based on what kind of shows you like, there might be even more shows on there.
You're right.
That's
Could you say that louder, Jackson? Could you?
Connor is right. He was right about Our Flag Means Death being on HBO Max.
Oh, thank God. All right, cool.
So that's our top TV shows of the year.
And my number 1, Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And why is it my number 1? Because it did the impossible. It made me a fan of John Cena.
Yep.
I couldn't see him for years. Now I see him.
Yep.
That's the best way I can describe it. And I'm so glad I do.
Oh my gosh, Connor. That was a perfect line. Okay, let's move into our movies of the year.
All right. Should we do the same with 10 through 6? We just rattle
we-
those off real quick.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I think so, right?
All right. I'll do my 10 through 6 since I didn't get to do a 10 through 6 last time. All right. Honorable mention. It technically came out in 2021, but only in like Sundance Film Festival and stuff like that. So it wasn't available to the public till like 2022. And that would be The Sadness. That movie is grisly. Going on to the top 10 now. Top 10 through 6. Number 10.
How many do you have, Connor?
I've got 10.
So why don't we just do this same thing we were doing? Why are we going the 10 through 6? We're only doing that because you didn't have 10.
Oh, I thought you were just saying just to save time, right?
Yeah.
To kind of.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we can slow burn it.
We still have 19
Okay.
minutes.
All right.
The movies are the best part of it, right?
All right. I did my honorable mention there. I'll go ahead and do my number 10 then.
Well, I had an 11 as well.
You had an 11. What's your 11?
Tell me. My number 11 is Top Gun Maverick. I just had a really good time with it.
I need to watch it, man.
Yeah, it was just a really good movie. It showed what happened in the first movie pretty well. I've never seen the first movie, but I feel like I have.
Like a 5-minute thing or something, or
They just randomly throughout the movie just reference the old movie and who died and
Goose.
Yeah, all this different stuff, and yeah, it was a great movie. I recommend it a lot. A lot of intensity, a lot of action, a lot of speed.
Is there a lot of shots where you're like slightly above the jet flying along with it? Is there a lot of that?
I think so. There's a lot of cockpit action.
A lot of cockpit. Okay.
You got any honorable mention, Connor?
No, I've just got a 10.
All right. I'll start it off with number 10 here.
Oh, honorable mention, Scream. Didn't make my list, but I did watch it this year. That new one, I think it came out in like January or February.
Taking the words right out of my mouth.
Okay.
Number 10 is Scream.
Okay.
So, yeah, number 10 is Scream for me. It was a lot of fun. Feel like it brought life to a franchise that I thought was dead for the most
For
part.
real. Yeah.
They've already got a new one in the works. It's about to come out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it too.
And it seemed like a good concept for the new one. I forget what it was, but I liked it.
It's a good black comedy.
Scream in the City.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
We'll see who does better.
I think it's like a Halloween thing, right?
I think it's called Screamless in Seattle.
Oh my God. It's called Legally Scream. All right. My number 10, Jackass Forever. Ever.
That was good.
It's one of those movies where it's like, didn't need to come out? No. Am I glad that it did? Yes. There's wasn't that like the dark room scene? Probably, I would say is the best scene in
The
that.
Silence of the Lambs. was
Yeah,
the skit.
yeah. That one had me laughing. Just so funny. Some of the hits that some of these new people take, I was just like, damn. I forget what the big dude's name is, but he launches off this like little motorbike, dude, and he hits so hard. I'm like, dude, how did you not break something?
Yeah, I think his name's Zach Holmes, Zach Ass, as far as his nickname on there.
Okay. But yeah, shout out to these new guys, man. They really put in the work, and the older guys put in the work too.
And I gotta say, Aaron McGehee was the star of the show
Oh yeah.
this year. Like he killed it this movie. I'm looking forward to more Jackass stuff. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be making more Jackass. I think they said something about maybe doing a show with the new cast.
That'd be cool. I'd watch it. Hey, wait a second. You got tissues, right?
There might be one left in that box.
Just gotta blow my nose, man. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
All right, 16 minutes to get through this.
Okay, my number 10. Okay,
You're number 10.
hold on. Okay, my number 10 is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Still need to watch that.
It was just a movie about grief and getting over someone dying, and it's just a really good movie. Really sad. I really enjoyed the Namor. He was really cool. Yeah, like that movie a lot.
Yeah. All right. My number 9, Barbarian. That was a movie that, like, I thought the whole movie was going to be, I don't know. It was one of those movies where, like, it was kind of like the movie Red State. You remember that movie by Kevin Smith? And how it was so hard to kind of predict what was going to be coming next on that. Mm-hmm. That's what Barbarian was. Like, as soon as you thought, like, oh, this is happening, it starts kind of like riding off onto a different story, but in a good way. I feel like the reason why it's not higher on this list is because the ending didn't really stick as well as I would have liked it, but well enough to where it's still in the top 10.
For me, number 9, The Gray Man. I thought it was a nice little film with some of my favorite actors, Chris Evans, Ryan Gosling, Anna de Armas. So it was a nice little spy movie, you know, some funny stuff happens. I don't know if you guys ever watched it or not, but I think it's worth
not yet.
It's worth a watch, at least one watch for sure.
I'm sure several of these movies that I have on my list you guys haven't seen yet. So
yeah, The Gray Man's on Netflix if you want to watch a spy movie. Feel like watching one?
My number 9 is a little film called RRR.
You finish it?
No, I didn't. I still have 15 minutes left. But good God, I loved I loved that whole movie up until the last 15 minutes. I haven't watched it, but boy, I just love the dance scene, man. Like nacho.
That's my moment of the year.
Yeah,
Yes.
so great, man. That movie is insane.
Desi Notch.
I'm going to have to go home and watch that now. Because now that we're talking about it, it's like, okay, I want to rewatch the stuff that I have watched, but now I want to finish it.
You got to finish it, guys. You got to finish it.
All right, my number 8 of the year, Nope. Jordan Peele's third horror movie that he has made. And yeah, it was good.
I liked it.
It almost made my list. I really liked it.
There were some things I didn't like about it, but overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Definitely a different take on a whole alien type of movie, you know?
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny. I love the funniness of it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Definitely the strong suit of it.
Yeah.
It
And the actors were so strong in it.
had like one of the coolest openings of a horror movie that I've ever seen when they're just out there and then all of a sudden that stuff starts raining down.
Yep.
Yeah. That is number 8. Connor, you're number 8.
The Northman. Very cool movie.
It's
a lot of darkness, a lot of magics. Just a really cool story, you know. I think all the actors are really strong. You kind of know what's going to happen in some ways based on the trailers, but you don't really know what's going to happen. So yeah, dude, just check out The Northman if you're into that kind of mythology or just that kind of
strong Viking vibes.
Yeah, if you're into that kind of style, check it out.
Yep.
Very grisly for anyone that's wanting to watch it. Like if you've seen like some of the grislier moments in Game of Thrones, you can expect those kinds of moments in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
My number 8 was Prey. New
Predator?
New Predator movie.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. I liked how brutal it was. Liked how simple it was. It wasn't this over dramatized, over thought out thing. It was just, hey, this really good hunter is trying to prove herself, become part of the tribe, and she's got to take down the biggest hunter out there, and that's what the Predator's job to do as well. Mm-hmm. And it was a brutal, good movie. It was the perfect length. It didn't last too long. It was got in, got out. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And my number 7 of the year, you guys might find this controversial because it's higher than Nope, but Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 is the perfect movie if you are someone that is into splatter flicks, meaning just over the top gore, like kill scenes that go on for way too long and really push the envelope and make you feel uncomfortable. But in the style that it's filmed in, I don't know. It is really extreme horror filmed with like a childlike. So if you want to see that, check it out. I don't know how to explain. It's hard. It's a hard movie to explain to people, man.
All right, so my number 7 is Prey. I'm gonna echo everything Kyle just said. They don't try to overthink it. They don't try to get too cute. Man, and the best way that you can compare why it's so good, watch the one that came out before it, man. It is almost unwatchable how bad it is. Everyone's trying to be a comedian. Everyone thinks that they're cool. It's not really even about the predator in a lot of ways. It's more about just like this group of soldiers, and it sucks, man. I forget who the scientist chick that they have in that movie, but she's trying to be cool, funny person too. And dude, Prey is like the complete opposite. They're not trying to be funny. They're not trying to be like witty in every way. They're trying to survive. You know, they're hunted. They're being hunted. There's a lot of hunting going on, you know, and it's just like, who's going to come out on top? Who's going to make a mistake? Like, it's so good, man. Such a good movie.
It's like that movie Aliens, you know, whenever that movie first came out, it was like, okay, it's taking a horror movie and turning it into an action-packed movie. So,
And there's some really suspenseful parts in Prey too, where it's like a more slow burn type thing. It's like, you're on the edge of your seat, you know. They do that really well.
My number 7 is Northman, and I will echo everything Connor said previously. I love the brutalness of that movie as well. The movie is pretty great. Really good Viking vibes.
Really unique storytelling in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My number 6 movie of 2022 is Bullet Train. Bullet Train was just a really fun roller coaster ride, man. If you haven't seen it yet, it's on Netflix. Go ahead and check it out. It's really good.
It's just funny, man. It's just so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Movies that it reminds me of is like the movies like Snatch and stuff like that, where there's a lot of different characters that are just coming in and out of each other, like coming in. But yeah, it's just really, really good, man. I liked all the characters in it. So
yep. Might be in my list somewhere. All right, number 6 for me, RRR. It's just it's at number 6, dude. It's at number 6, and it's like it didn't even come out. Like, it's not. We didn't make it, Jackson. Americans didn't make this movie.
nope.
I can't describe enough how this movie just blew me away, man.
It's over the top in every aspect.
it got recommended via a podcast I listened to by this guy, Jacob Geller. He does videos online, I guess, but he is also on MinMax. And just the way he talked about it, I'm just like, dude, I gotta watch this movie. And I wish I would have watched it in the theater at this point.
Me too.
Because it's so over the top. It's just this bro duo that like are kind of opposites, but also like really good like dudes, you know?
One works for the bad guy, one works for the good guy.
But their broness brings them together.
Right. And you find out that the guy that's working for the bad guy is actually as good as the good guy in a lot of ways because of his motivations and why he's doing it. I don't know if you guys have gotten to that part yet. Do you know why he's doing it?
I can honestly not remember.
We got to the snake bite part.
Okay. So you guys have gotten to the part where you've found out why they're together, but you don't know the other guy's motivations yet. You don't know why he's doing it, why he's working for the British.
Correct.
Once you find that out, you're going to be like, oh my God. And then all the stuff that happens, like the last 30 minutes of the movie is as good as like Infinity War. Like just the sort of over the top action that's going on. Like these people, like they turn into Dom from Fast 9. They turn into superheroes, like Captain America style superheroes. One guy turns into like Hawkeye. It's insane. It's just crazy. And then they do a literal like Voltron like team up thing. Like they combine bodies at one point. Like this is the thing I've been holding off for you guys for so long. The thing that's so crazy, they literally do like one gets on top of the other one's shoulders because he can't walk, right? And they turn into a fighting machine, dude. It is just the most insane thing that is just like, it's crazy, dude. You got to watch it. RRR.
So my number 6 is Nope. Yeah. Everything we said earlier, I loved it. I love a new take on an alien film.
Mm-hmm. Number 5 for me is Glass Onion. Glass Onion is just another good murder mystery, man.
Me too. 5, Glass Onion. Yeah, Glass Onion. Daniel Craig did it again, man. That's the best way to describe it, right? Him and just the overall cast, like not just him, but the overall cast did a really great job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The thing I liked about Glass Onion is this: the whole time I was just guessing the whole time.
Right.
I never knew what was going to happen next, and just the funniest stuff would happen. You know, I love a film where there's a background character that has no importance to the film. You know, I just love movies like that. You know, that's how a lot of Adam Sandler movies were back in the day and stuff.
Right.
And this happens in Glass Onion. It's just such a smart film. That's what I loved the most about Glass Onion. It's just how smart it was.
You're constantly asking, why is this happening? Or why did this happen? You know?
Right.
Why did he get a box? Why is he involved? What are they doing there?
And Edward Norton just plays the most crazy tech billionaire. You think that's how they all are, probably. You know, just is insane. But my number 5 is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I still gotta watch that movie.
The movie is
man.
insane. Insane.
It is insane. I'm just not a fan. You know, I understand why you like it so much, though, and I respect that. It's just, I think something about the way that the whole story came together with the bad guy. It just, I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, I really loved it. The bagel part, I didn't really feel like it needed to be there, but
I forget about the bagel part.
yeah, I don't know.
I always think about the dildo stuff. It's like, you know, but whatever.
That scene is insane, dude.
A lot of dildo shit.
Yeah, that's my number 5.
All right, here we go. It's getting serious now. Number 4, Clerks 3. If you're a fan of Kevin Smith movies and you've watched all of them, this movie is like the end game for. I mean, I don't want to say it's the end game because okay, never mind. I'm saying it's the end game. It just everything builds up to this moment, like all those movies, like because there's so many different references that like happens in Clerks 3, and yeah, there's multiple parts where I was watching it by myself, and if I'm laughing by myself watching a movie, that's a really good sign. And at the end of it, I was in tears, like literally, like probably like the hardest I've cried in a movie this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's my number 4 is Clerks 3. Good job, Kevin Smith.
My number 4 is Bullet Train. It's also the one on this list that I probably rewatched the most, mainly because of like what Kyle said. It's just really funny. It's got really good rewatchability, man. You know, turn it on, play a video game, laugh at it, watch some of the cool action scenes. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's good. It's funny. You know, I want another one. I know that. I think there's something that they could do with Lemon. It sucks that Tangerine, you know, but Lemon, you know, him and Lemon. Yeah, watch that. Check it out. I think you'll like it.
My number 4 is Glass Onion. Loved it.
Yeah, it was great. Let's go ahead and we've been talking about it. We'll go ahead and jump in. All right. Number 3 for me, The Northman. It was great. We already talked about it. I love the style of it, and I love the director a lot. His other movies, The Lighthouse and The Witch, are insanely good. Check those out too. Connor, what's your number 3?
Avatar: The Way of Water. I don't know if you haven't seen it yet.
I have not watched it yet. If I had seen it, it'd be on this list.
It'd probably be up there. Yeah. it gives you everything you want in a sequel, man. In a lot of ways, fixes some of the pacing of the first movie, I think. But you could argue that the middle of the movie is really slow because there's a lot of nature stuff in the middle of the movie. But just from the get-go, you're just like, oh my God, this movie is just so much better than visually. That's what you notice first is like, oh my God, it's so much better. But then like you get to, really soak in the story and you're like, oh, they're doing some cool stuff with the villain. They've got all these kids and like they've got some cool stuff going on. But yeah, I would say if you can, go watch it in 3D while you can, because you'll be mad at yourself if you didn't, pretty much.
Yep, everything you said is true. I loved it. Yeah, it was a 3 hour and 15 minute long movie. Seemed like it was only an hour and a half long.
Yeah,
I loved every second of it. Yeah. Didn't expect to hear bro so much in that movie.
A lot of bro and cuz.
And cuz, yeah, lots of bro and cuz. Yeah. My number 3 was Bullet Train. One of my favorite Brad Pitt movies I've ever watched.
Same here, man.
Yep.
His best movie in years, for real.
Yeah.
It's funny that like I like compared that movie to the Snatch.
Right. When you said that, I'm like, that's a Brad Pitt movie.
That's also like one of my favorite movies with Brad Pitt in it. So, all right. My number 2 movie of the year is, like Connor said, had a lot of rewatchability to it. I watched this movie a shit ton this year. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
That was your number 2?
That was my number 2.
That was my number 2, dude.
Yes.
Dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, man. I've watched it probably 5 or 6 times now.
I probably watched it more than that.
Oh man, it's too good, man. It really is.
It's got so many just insane comedy moments, man. That it's just like,
I feel like every time I watch the movie, I get a new favorite part. Mm-hmm. Like I still think that part, like where they go outside the spaceship and they're like floating out the window and he's holding the ring and he's like, and then it just floats away. It was like the ring that her mother gave me.
so good.
All the stuff with the smart Beavis and smart Butthead, man. That stuff's good too, man. Yeah.
My number 2 is Avatar: The Shape of Water. I loved it.
The Way of Water.
The Way of Water, yeah.
Wow.
The Shape of Water.
Wait a minute.
Combining 2 titles.
I wonder
there.
if we all have the same number 1.
No, we don't.
We don't?
Me and you probably do.
Okay.
If it's what you know what I'm saying?
Connor, let's go ahead and say it. Number 1.
Wait. Have you said your number 2 is Way of Water?
Yeah.
Did you want to comment on it?
No, I already commented on it. It was great.
Okay. The Batman! Yeah, dude. Number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, how could it not be the Batman?
From the moment that I felt the roar of the engine in IMAX, it was like, oh man, this is so sick. That movie, it's long, but I feel like you're getting 2 movies in one that both fit together. So
It has such a great vibe to it, man. It's so unique, even for a Batman movie. Like, even for it being like a dark and gritty Batman movie, it's like, it's different, in so many ways. You actually feel like he's a detective, and like just the stuff with like the islands stuff and the fact that it was like a circular camera when he was looking at it. Just like all these little details, man.
Right.
So cool. Especially that Batmobile, man. Like, ooh.
yeah, I hope that there's still going to be more of Robert Pattinson's Batman in the future. I'm not sure if that's been cut yet or not, but
No, there's going to be more.
good.
Yeah. That and Joker.
Yeah. To be honest, as much as I really want another Joker movie, I'm not excited about Lady Gaga being in it. She's just someone that I have not been sold on yet, so.
The first Joker movie was okay. I don't think I'll rewatch it,
I've been on record hating the first Joker movie, so I have no desire to watch the second one.
Yeah.
Just to hear it's a musical, I'm like, I'm out. Especially because it's musical.
I really like Joaquin Phoenix, I think he does a good job, but yeah, it is kind of up its own butt in a lot of ways.
Exactly. My number 1 movie of the year was Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. I love that movie so freaking much.
It was fantastic.
So
bro.
good,
Gosh,
dude.
I've watched it 3 times, and every time I'm just like, this is the most insane movie of the year. It's so funny. But yeah, that's our top 10s, guys.
I had no Marvel in my stuff,
Oh wow.
and I'm proud of that.
Huh. Yeah, I had a lot
either.
of Marvel in mine.
One thing I gotta say is since Beavis and Butthead was my number 2 show and my number 2 movie, I think that wins best thing of the year for me. Is Beavis and Butthead coming back and knocking it out of the park?
I'm really hoping there's more Beavis and Butthead in the future, both TV show and movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And do you guys have anything extra to say about any of that?
No.
All right.
Do we even want to do a Yo Dude? I mean, we just kind of did like a whole Yo Dude, check out these top 10s and top 5s.
Right.
It's up to you guys.
I'm good on a yo, dude. All I got is a Menards thing or something.
We just bomb blasted them with a whole bunch of Yo Dudes.
All right.
So I think
Sounds good to
Check
me.
out all the shit we just talked about. If you haven't already, if something sounds cool.
You know what?
and if there's something
dude.
that we
Hey, yo, what's up? Check this out.
you just had to play
Yo,
the
dude.
song. But hey,
So, yo, dude, check this out. Following the death of the Pope, they will hit him in the head with a hammer to
Make sure he's dead?
To make sure he's dead.
Why a hammer?
Uh,
The cheapest, easiest way. There's like a special Pope hammer that you hit him with.
Yeah, it's just to make sure. I guess it's to make sure that he's really dead. You know, it's
Not
just
faking it?
It's a genuine precaution. It says here. Just
you
to make
weren't dead
that
before, you're dead now.
Just to make sure he wasn't buried alive. There's a persistent legend that Thomas A. Kempis was buried alive. It was last performed at the death of the Pope St. John the 23rd. But people think it's a myth, but it's true. It's definitely a true thing. And they hit him with a gilded silver and ebony hammer.
have they ever invited Gallagher to do it once?
Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh, that'd be messed up. And I think a Pope actually died today.
Yeah,
not
there's a
mistaken.
Pope that died. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another famous person that died. I forget who it was, but yeah, 2 major deaths today.
All right. And
Hey, for those watching, if there's something that you loved that we did not put in our top 5s, top 10s, put it in the comments. We want to check it out.
Yeah. Or if you got like one of the, like a list, like you got top 5 movies or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Hell, maybe we'll argue it. Maybe we'll do an episode where we say your list sucks.
Maybe we'll call you out.
maybe Jackson will pick you apart.
We'll roast your list.
All right. But here's to a good new year, 2023.
2023 is going to be the year, man.
2023.
Hell yeah.
I'm not going to put that juju on. I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on you guys. I'm going to go into 2023 with no expectations.
All right. And as that goes forward, next week we're doing our predictions for 2023. And we'll also be going over our predictions from 2022 and seeing how wrong we were. So stay tuned for that, and should be a good episode.
Yeah.
So wait, by predicting, are we going to have expectations at that point?
Probably.
Jackson?
You're forcing me to have expectations.
Truly. The conundrum of the year.
All right.
It's early year, but you know. So that was episode 67 of Crashing with Friends.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Crashing with Friends.
Podcast.